The night over eastern Ukraine is a tangle of sensors, quadcopters whispering above tree lines, artillery radars pinging, thermal cameras breathing through the dark. A Russian BMP noses forward along a hedgerow, counting on smoke and panic to do the work of armour. Then a low shape flickers across a ridge. A turret steadies. A 40mm tongue of light stabs out. Single, double, then a harsh, unbroken spray. By the time the echoes die, the tree line is still. The Swedish Wolf has hunted again. That's the battlefield reputation the CV90 carries into 2025. It isn't a cameo vehicle. It sets tempo. It sees first, hits harder, and, more than anything, it brings its crew back. Ask the soldiers riding inside. They'll say the same thing. Reliable, roomy, ruthless. It's the infantry fighting vehicle that bullies the fight into shapes that favor Ukraine. And every month, as the war evolves, so does the Wolf. To understand why, you have to go back to Scandinavia's design brief. Survive first contact, dominate the mid-range, stay mobile in bad terrain, and keep upgrading the brain. The CV90's chassis was born for forests, snow, and mud. Its turret for stabilized long-range gunfights. Its architecture for sensors, electronic warfare, and software that won't age out in 2 winters. That philosophy isn't marketing. It's the reason this machine took a leading role the moment Sweden opened the gates and handed Ukraine 50 CV90s. Denmark and the Netherlands did more than applaud. They wired money and production muscle into a joint pipeline that funds, builds, and keeps new CV90s flowing to Ukrainian brigades. In December 2024, Stockholm went a step further and signed for 40 newly produced vehicles for Ukraine, cementing a 3-nation supply chain around this platform. That pipeline matters because Ukraine isn't just getting some Swedish IFVs, it's onboarding a full capability. As of March 2025, Ukrainian forces operate roughly 55 to 65 CV90s, a mix anchored by Sweden's initial donation and augmented by vehicles financed by Denmark and the Netherlands, with newly funded CV90 Mk2 IICS set to arrive later this year. Crucially, Sweden's most recent support packages aren't just hulls. They include money for ammunition, spare parts, and maintenance. The difference between a headline and a warfighting asset that can grind day after day. Even as Kiev rotates vehicles between brigades, Stockholm and partners are expanding European production. The Dutch put 400 million euros into boosting CV90 output for Ukraine, and the Nordics signaled a multi-hundred vehicle joint procurement to harden regional stocks for the long war. Translation: the Wolfpack isn't a one-off, it's a growing family. So what's the knife edge? The CV9040's 40mm autocannon and optics give it lethal overmatch in the IFV weight class. Programmable airburst shreds infantry that thinks trenches will save them. Armor-piercing rounds swat BMPs and BTRs out past 2 to 3 kilometers. And the hunter-killer pairing of commander's sight and gunner's primary lets crews snap between targets while on the move. That stability matters, especially when Ukrainian drivers are threading mine belts, shell craters, and FPV ambushes. On the human side, soldiers rave about interior space and ride quality, not because they're picky, but because that comfort translates into faster dismounts and less fatigue. Call it Volvo DNA with a bad attitude. If lethality is the bite, survivability is the hide. Ukraine's CV90s have weathered hits from drones and heavy munitions, including dreaded Lancet loiterers, without the grim crew fatality rates seen in legacy Soviet IFVs. Publicly visible, open-source data points to relatively few visually confirmed CV90 losses across 2 fighting seasons, and multiple incidents where crews survived drone strikes and bailed out intact. One Russian propaganda exhibition in Moscow even showed a captured, but not burned out, CV90, a rare trophy highlighting how few the Russians can parade. Survivability isn't an accident. It's the composite armor, spall liners, and internal layout doing their job, backed by doctrinal discipline that keeps these vehicles from loitering in killbox terrain. Now for the receipts you asked for. As of April 14th, 2025, A widely referenced public tally listed around 24 visually confirmed Ukrainian CV9040C losses since fielding, roughly a split of destroyed, damaged, abandoned, and a handful captured. That's low for a frontline IFV density, especially given the intensity of fighting. The same open sources and Ukrainian military releases repeatedly note crews surviving hits, particularly from FPVs that detonate on add-on armor or external stowage, rather than penetrating the crew space. In other words, the platform bleeds, but it doesn't die easy, and its people keep coming home. The secret sauce isn't just steel, it's signature control and electronic warfare. Many Ukrainian CV90s wear Saab's Barracuda mobile camouflage system, a multispectral skin that depresses thermal contrast and muddies the IR picture for drones and targeteers. In a battlefield where find, fix, finish starts with a quadcopter's cheap sensor, turning the find phase into a guessing game is priceless. Layer unit-level EW on top, jamming drone control links, frying FPVs mid-run, spoofing or forcing fail-safes, and you get survivability that fights back. As Ukrainian EW matures and scales, the CV90 is proving to be an ideal node. Low profile, cool signature, and enough electrical headroom to host counter-drone antennas, receivers, and jammers without gutting mobility. The enemy is adapting too. Fiber optic guided drones blunt some RF jamming, but the Wolf's combination of camouflage, EW, and crew discipline keeps raising the cost of a kill. Ukraine isn't waiting on factory brochures to innovate. Field workshops have bolted reactive armor onto CV90 turrets and hull cheeks, a once unusual choice for IFVs that now looks prudent against shape charge FPVs and tandem warheads. You'll spot cages and skirts tuned to throw off top attack angles or to distort silhouettes for FPV pilots, threading glancing hits. Crews have evolved thermal discipline, timing idles and heater cycles to avoid advertising their presence. And they rehearse short burst sprints so they spend seconds, not minutes, in drone-watched terrain. It's the kind of iterative, grimly practical engineering that this war keeps forcing on everyone. Tactics are where the CV90 has turned from great vehicle into fight changer. In combined arms packages with Leopard 2s, the roles are crisp. Leopards become sledgehammers for hardpoints and tank duels. CV90 screen wide, seize tree lines, erase BMPs, carve lanes for sappers, and keep dismounts alive. When the terrain tightens, urban fringes, river forests, the IFVs go first, cloaked in Barracuda, EW up, optics sweeping second-story windows and culverts, while the Leopards stalk firing positions. It's NATO doctrine remixed for the drone age, and we've seen it in action. In May 2024, around the Vovchansk axis, CV90s dispersed into tree lines, used thermals to pick out Russian armor and infantry at standoff, then collapsed flanks while heavier armor held the hardpoints. That isn't a movie scene. It's a new pattern that keeps repeating. How does the Swedish Wolf stack against peers? Ukrainian soldiers who've ridden them all are blunt. Compared to older BMPs, it's another universe. Against allied IFVs, the CV90 consistently earns top marks for protection, reliability, and crew comfort. With a cannon that rules the IFV class, Bradleys bring long-reach tows and a thick skin. Marders are stoic workhorses. But the CV90 feels designed for this exact battlefield. It resists mines and drones, it sees in thermal clutter, and it keeps fighting through abuse. If you're choosing a vehicle to stake your life on, that edge isn't academic. Now the APS question you raised. What's real, what's next, and when? Hardkill active protection is no longer vapor. The Royal Netherlands Army's CV9035NL midlife upgrade includes fitting Elbit's Iron Fist APS on 90 vehicles, alongside a new digital turret and spike missiles. The Dutch plan wraps through the 2026 to 2027 window for deliveries and completion, and industry contracts since 2019 have kept the integration work moving. That's a proof of service baseline inside NATO, not a lab demo. For Ukraine's CV90s, there's no public confirmation of hardkill APS fitted in 2024 to 2025. Protection today comes from the base composite armor, Barracuda signature management, field-installed ERA, and unit-level counter-drone EW. The incoming Mark IIIs, financed by Sweden, Denmark, and the Netherlands, keep the door open, physically and financially, for future APS kits. But integrating hard kill in wartime is a design, test, train, sustain problem, not a bolt-on afternoon. Realistically, the earliest Ukrainian hard kill fielding on CV90s would follow Allied integration cycles and funding decisions already in motion. Let's talk numbers and sustainment, the boring bits that win wars. Sweden opened the door with 50 CV90s, then in February 2024 announced its largest package to date at the time, earmarking funds for ammunition and new armoured vehicles. In January 2025, Stockholm topped even that with a Swedish krona 13.5 billion package that explicitly funds procurement conversations and sustainment lines, the spares and 40mm ammunition pipelines that keep CV90s in the fight. In June 2024, the Netherlands injected €400 million to expand production capacity for Ukraine. And by December 2024, Sweden and Denmark signed CV90 contracts worth around $2.5 billion, including vehicles for Kiev. Add the December 2024 joint order for 40 new CV90s for Ukraine, and you see the arc. Procurement, sustainment, and industrial expansion are aligned. What about challenges? First, scale. 55 to 65 CV90s on the line is impactful, but not omnipresent. Commanders have to husband the wolves and mass them for decisive moments. Second, EW is a knife fight in a phone booth. Russian fiber-optic guided FPVs, sidestep radio jammers, and poorly coordinated Ukrainian jamming can interfere with friendly drones or radios. It's a choreography issue as much as a hardware one. Third, while Barracuda, ERA, and Discipline save lives, a CV90 fixed in place under glide bombs or precision artillery is still vulnerable. The doctrine answer is to keep moving, keep dispersed, and stay undercover. Finally, sustainment. The 40mm 3P ammo and unique spares aren't interchangeable with Bradley or BMP logistics. That's why Sweden's packages explicitly fund maintenance and ammunition pipelines. These frictions don't undercut the vehicle's impact. They make the victories feel earned. If you could freeze the front line for a lab test, you'd see the CV90's advantages translate into company-level arithmetic. In tree-line duels against BMP 2/3s and BTRS, the CV90's first seen, first shot, first killed probabilities are brutally high, thanks to stabilization and thermal clarity. Against dismounts, airburst turns cover into confetti, and in the drone age, the vehicle's small thermal footprint and onboard EW buy the crew seconds that become lives. The evidence lives in after-action reports, and in the tiny number of verified catastrophic CV90 kills relative to exposure time. Publicly visible snapshots that align with what Ukrainian brigades say privately. The Russians can claim a trophy here and there, but the plural of anecdote is not victory. There's symbolism here, and it bites as hard as the steel. Ukrainians call the CV90 a Swedish Wolf, not just because of its low, predatory stance, but because it arrived with a promise. High-end Western land warfare tech will be supplied, sustained, and iterated in real time. In September 2025, Ukraine's formal entry into the CV90 operator community, what soldiers jokingly call the CV90 Club, codified that promise. Membership means faster software drops, common spares, shared tactics, and an industrial floor across allies. For a country fighting an existential war, that's not branding, it's insurance. 3 quick moments to visualize on your map board. 1. Vovchansk, May 2024. CV90s disperse into orchards and tree lines. Leopards anchor. Thermals find heat where smoke hides shapes. And Russian flanking pushes dissolve under long-range 40mm fire. 2. A drone-dense sector in the Donbass, 2025. CV90s jog forward in short sprints. Barracuda dulling their glow. EW bubbling as FPVs wobble or detonate early. Sappers follow through a lane the IFVS just carved. 3. A counter-ambush on a sunken road. BMP turrets flash. A CV90 slews. Airburst pops above the trench lip, and within 20 seconds the corridor is a no-go for the enemy's infantry. These aren't one-offs. They're the new plays in a playbook Ukrainian brigades are writing in steel. The CV90 is the only Swedish product that doesn't ship with an Allen key, because it brings its own. Russian crews call it the quiet neighbor, because it shows up, trims your hedges with the 40mm, and politely asks you to move out. And comfort matters. Bradley feels like a dependable pickup, Marder like a stoic bus, but the CV90 is that Scandinavian tour coach with heated seats that also wins gunfights. Okay, comedy hour over. Back to the war. Future variants. Expect the MKIIC arrivals for Ukraine to carry refined electronics and baked-in growth for hardkill APS, should funding and timelines align. The broader CV90 family already spans 35mm and even 50mm gun pads. Ukraine's lessons will shape which calibers and fusing logic best chew through Russian cover. Just as likely, counter-drone suites will standardize. 360-degree cameras, warning receivers, and vehicle-to-UAV data links that let a CV90 hand off targets to loitering munitions while staying masked. None of that is sci-fi anymore. In this war, future tech lasts about 2 weeks before it's a field mod on a dusty turret ring. If you're in the Kremlin and you're looking for the CV90 off switch, the options are ugly. Smoke won't save BMPs at 3 kilometers against crisp thermals. Mine belts slow everyone, but the Wolf's protection and mobility give Ukrainian drivers more ways to probe and live. FPV swarms, they hurt, but Barracuda, ERA, EW, and crew discipline keep pushing the required mass and cost upward. The honest counter is air power with persistent suppression and sensor dominance. Russia struggles to mass and coordinate that near the line without bleeding its aircraft and munition stockpiles. So the Wolf keeps hunting. Now zoom out. Why does this matter beyond a tree line in Donetsk? Because Europe's defense spine is quietly knitting itself back together around platforms like the CV90. Sweden, Denmark, and the Netherlands aren't just shipping metal. They're synchronizing industry, money, and doctrine. The Nordics and Baltics are exploring joint buys in the hundreds, signaling a long-term commitment to tracked, networked, drone-age infantry fighting vehicles. Every CV90 that rolls into a Ukrainian brigade is a field test for a continental rearmament. It tells Moscow something brutally simple. The West's factories are awake, its learning curve is steep, and its best land war tech is not just for parades. So here's the scoreboard you can take to the debate. Sweden opened with 50 CV90s. As of March 2025, about 55 to 65 are in Ukrainian service. 40 more are on order specifically for Ukraine. The Netherlands put 400 million euros toward production. Sweden's 2024 to 2025 packages bankroll the sustainment that keeps them running. And the Dutch have hardkill APS entering service on their own fleet by 2026 to 2027, creating a proven integration path. Allies, Ukraine included, can tap. On the battlefield, the CV90's kill geometry at 2 to 3 kilometers, its multispectral cloak, and its crew-first survivability have erased entire categories of Russian advantage at company and battalion scale. No single vehicle wins a war, but some vehicles change the math of staying alive long enough to win it. The Swedish Wolf is loose, and it's not alone. It's backed by a coalition that funds it, fixes it, and learns from it. It's paired with leopards that swing the hammer and infantry that moves faster because they trust the ride. It's part of an emerging European playstyle built for the drone age. Putin can talk about attrition and inevitability, but if you can't outsee them, can't outshoot them, and can't kill the crews inside, then you're not countering the CV90, you're just feeding it.